My name is Tama, I'm the oldest of 21 kids. So there are 12 girls, 9 boys, no twins, same parents. But I'm not going to really talk about all of that tonight. So what I am going to talk about is heat. Because it's been hot here recently. Kind of. A little bit. I've been hearing about how hot it is, but I have memories of real heat. Because I grew up in Missouri. And it's so, so hot. It's a kind of hot that shapes your life in the summer. It's a heat that holds you up, that surrounds you in more ways than anything else. It's a thickness to the air. You can't fall over easily because of the heat. You can lean on it. You can lean into it. And that's what you have to do to survive it. You have to slow down and lean into the heat, which is what I learned at my grandparents' house as a kid. They lived at nearly the top of this hill in the country, and there was absolutely nothing to do there every single Sunday when we went after church, after sitting through the long ride, crowded into whatever vehicle we had at the time with all of my siblings to church, and then through 3 hours of church, air conditioned, and then the ride, half an hour to my grandparents' house on the hill. And the best thing at my grandparents' house, besides my grandparents, which were great, and my aunts and uncles, was food. That was the thing. But the food, you had to wait for the food. And you had to wait outside because the kitchen was hot. It was the hottest place in the world. We had just come from church. We were Mormon. We didn't really believe in hell, but I'd heard about hell from my grandparents and my uncles who talked about how everything was hotter than hell, colder than hell, dumber than hell, smarter than hell. And I had a pretty good idea that that kitchen was hotter than hell. And we kids had to stay out of that kitchen and out of that house. And they were constantly chasing us back out. We went in, is the food ready? And they'd chase us out. We'd slam the screen door. It was a wooden door with a screen, and we'd slam that door over and over and over and run back outside. But then you couldn't run. As soon as you hit that door, you slowed down. Slowed down, and you went to the swing, and the rope for the swing was so old and tired from the heat. And you held onto that swing, and you just kind of swung like this. And you just kind of let your feet drag in the dirt. The tired, hot dirt. There was no cool place. And then maybe you worked up the energy to go over to my grandpa's collection of huge old cars. And if it was the right time of day, so the sun wasn't directly on those cars, you could actually touch them. If it was the wrong time of day, you found out early and got burned that you could not touch those cars. But if it was the right time of day and there was a little bit of shade, they were still hot, but not too hot, and you could climb up on top of them and jump up and down, and the roofs would boing in and boing back out a little bit, and you could slide, squeak, 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 down the windshield. And you could get inside of those cars and shut the door, and there was a whole new level of heat inside of the car. Ah, that kind of heat. Just like an oven inside there. You knew just what bread felt like inside of those oven cars. And the steering wheels were hot, but there was nothing else to do. So you sat inside the hot cars, and the seats had some kind of weird straw inside of them that people must have thought was comfortable at some time, but now heat just came up through the straw, and it was just hot. And you sat there. Sometimes your siblings got in, and there was a little bit of breeze when they opened the door and shut it. And then it was just hot. And they'd say, "Where do you want to go?" And they'd say, "California." "All right, going to California." "Where are we going in California?" "McDonald's." That's where we always went when I was a kid. Anytime we had a car to drive in to pretend it, we went to California to McDonald's. It's the best thing we could imagine, because we imagined they had air conditioning in California. That's what we saw in Beverly Hillbillies. That was amazing heat.